Tonight, a Russian spy ship off the coast of Connecticut. At this moment, about 30 miles from American shores. The ship designed to intercept U.S. intelligence signals. A defense official telling CNN the U.S. military is keeping a, quote, close eye on the situation. Our Pentagon correspondent Barbara Starr is out front now. And Barbara, just off the coast of Connecticut, a provocative move by the Russians.
It is a provocation, Aaron, especially because Connecticut has a U.S. Navy submarine base, of course. Provocation, yes, and also somewhat of a nuisance in all candor to the U.S. military. They've seen the Russians do this before. The Russians are making a statement. We're here, we're off your coastline, we're staying in international waters, but we're watching you. And in fact, the U.S. military is watching the Russian ship. It has happened before. Normally, the Russians go up and down the East Coast, and when they get somewhere around Virginia, as they come up from the south, they usually turn around and go back. Now it's as far north as Connecticut. And this comes as there have been other Russian provocations in recent days. So it certainly is getting the attention of the U.S. military. They are watching what the Russians are doing. Unduly upset, unduly concerned? No. But they want to make sure this nuisance stays just that and doesn't become anything more. Aaron?
All right, Barbara, thank you very much. It is the context, of course, to this that is so crucial. Out front now, Colin Kahl, the former national security advisor to Vice President Biden, David Urban, former campaign strategist for President Trump, West Point graduate, David Gergen, and Jamie Gangel. Thanks to all. Let me start with you, Colin. This spy ship, not the only provocative move by Russia. And, of course, the crucial context here is this is all since President Trump took office.
Yeah, I think that's right. As Barbara alluded to, there have been a number of provocations. Last Friday, you had several Russian fighter aircraft buzz one of our U.S. naval vessels in the Black Sea. And you also recently had the Russians deploy for the first time a ground-launched cruise missile that violates the Intermediate Nuclear Forces Treaty that was signed in 1987. So clearly the Russians are testing, pushing, probing. It's not clear exactly what they're up to, but this is exactly the type of crisis that I'm not sure, or not even crisis, but just a series of events that I'm not really sure that the Trump administration is well postured to manage right now.
Well, when you talk about the broader context here, David Urban, there are some big things being said right now. The head of U.S. Special Operations Command, four-star general, Tony Thomas, has come out and spoken about the broader situation. And what he had to say, frankly, unprecedented, rare. I mean, this is shocking. Our government continues to be in unbelievable turmoil, he says. I hope they sort it out soon because we're a nation at war. This is the head of U.S. Special Operations Command talking about our government being in unbelievable turmoil.
Aaron, I think General Thomas wasn't criticizing the president. General Thomas, a patriot, a great soldier. What he did say was that things like happened today with the ship and the Russian aircraft buzzing the fleet is something that is cause for concern amongst the U.S. military.
But who is he talking about? Our government continues to be in unbelievable turmoil. I mean, it's an incredible thing to say. This is the sitting head of U.S. Special Operations Command.
Well, you're right. It is unprecedented, and it's something I'm sure the general isn't meant to, I believe he's not meant to be criticizing the president. I've not spoken with him, but I've read some further elaboration of his remarks, and they're not. They were much more focused than it seems in what you're saying. So I think he's talking about perhaps what's going on in the National Security Council right now with General Flynn's departure, and we're waiting to see who's getting appointed. So.
Right, and we obviously are waiting on that. Jamie, obviously you have that comment by General Thomas. You then had John McCain, who came out and said the current situation in our government could be putting American lives at risk. Here's exactly how John McCain put it.
My concern is also that with now no national security advisor and the turmoil within the administration, makes it very difficult for us to exercise responsibilities as to defend the nation. There is a turmoil as far as national security is concerned within the White House, and that needs to be fixed as well.
Same word, turmoil. John McCain.
Right. It's not an accident, and we're seeing more Republicans actually speak out for the first time. Look, privately, every Republican I speak to says that national security and the turmoil in the White House is their #1 concern. But you're also seeing people like Senator Roy Blunt, Senator Corker come out today talking about the Russian links. These are people who have not not broken with the White House, but really haven't spoken out before. There is a big difference here, and you're going to see, I believe, a senior Republican source see the Senate Intelligence Committee do a very serious investigation into all of this. They are very concerned. They also say, they said, who are you looking towards? They still call him General Mattis, Defense Secretary Mattis. They're really hoping if there is...
They're banking on him.
They're banking on him.
But, you know, it's interesting when you say more people are coming out, and David Gergen, they may be, but yet not leadership. I mean, John McCain is obviously very vocal, very respected, but not technical leadership, right? We're not hearing it from Speaker Ryan. We're not hearing it from Senate Majority Leader McConnell.
We're not. They have to keep their flock in line, so it's understandable why they're cautious about it. But I do think it's very significant when people like Senator Corker begin to break away, because he is someone who's respected in the Senate. He's respected on both sides of the aisle, frankly. And that's what I think the erosion is occurring there more than a leadership. The leadership on this tends to be a little bit more of a followership, because they want to know where the center of gravity is in their caucus. But I have to tell you, this is all getting much more serious, even though we've had some distractions today. The Netanyahu story, these other things that are going on that, that are very newsworthy. The fact is, this is threatening to the administration. It's threatening to its credibility. It's threatening to capacity to govern. But very importantly, what these senators are increasingly saying, Aaron, is, look, the White House is not well enough organized. Should there be a serious provocation? We're having these minor provocations now, but if there's a serious provocation, can these guys really handle it? Are they up to having an organized, thoughtful, deliberative response? Or are we going to have the kind of confusion we saw there in Mar-a-Lago, with people sitting around a dinner table with flashlights? And that's no way to handle a national security crisis. And other countries see America as struggling now, and there are people out there who are not our friends who will try to take advantage of it.
All right. Thank you all very much. Sobering discussion. Next, the breaking news, Trump's pick for Labor Secretary Andrew Puzder. He says he's out. Coming up, what Oprah had to do with his demise.